Yeah, I bet they are. But Andrew.
No. Take notes. On my way.
Now we'll get their mics.
Now we'll turn the mics on, yes. Okay, are we good, Kate? We're good. So welcome everyone to our council meeting. We'll call our meeting to order and please rise for the pledge.
To the flag
To the flag,
of the United States of
United States of
America,
America,
and to the
and to
republic
the republic for which it stands, one
one
nation,
under
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with
and justice.
liberty and justice for all.
There's a delay there. That's.
I think there's a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slight delay.
It's okay. Deal with that. Roll call, Kate?
Here,
Councilor Capola,
here,
Mayor Krasinski,
Here.
Councilor Payanessa,
Here.
Councilor Prusen,
Here,
Councilor Rosso,
Here.
Councilor Veach. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I just want to read this. We're gonna present this to the Lions Club next Friday, the Friday of the opening fair. But we have a proclamation, and actually we spent the money to frame it too. That's a shocker for us to do that. You know, it's very nice. 75th anniversary of the Berlin Fair. The fair, as you guys know, the fair began. Well, I know it began in the 1800s, but I think in 1948, the Berlin Lions Agriculture Fair, which eventually, of course, we call the Berlin Fair, takes place on the weekend of the 3rd Sunday of September. Unique and delicious food from our local clubs, churches, and nonprofit organizations attract people from all over the state and beyond. Thrilling rides, exhibits, farm animals are a draw for many, but especially for the children. The Berlin Fair is one of our main events in town. And as we know, as a result, the Lions Club donates to numerous local charities, scholarships, as well as statewide organizations. And we appreciate the hard work and dedication of the members of the Berlin Lions Club. And it's a testament to their unwavering commitment to their community. So this is in recognition of their excellent work on the 75th anniversary of the Berlin Fair. We congratulate them and wish them obviously many, many years to come. So we'll go ahead and give this out on the opening ceremony there. I think it's 11 o'clock.
Apple, banana, or melon.
Friday the 13th. What was that? What was that? Who's ordered? What was that? I heard watermelon. Was that? I don't know what that was. Anyway, so that I just wanted to get that out there. So now we are on an audience of citizens. Rich Gagliardi, first up on the list, sir. How you doing?
Evening, Council.
Nice to see you.
Yes, my name is Rich Gagliardi, live at 1278 High Road, and I'm also Vice President of the Berlin Land Trust.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm here tonight with a couple of our other directors, Roland Michael and
How we doing?
David Voigt. Dave is Chair of our Hiking and Trails Committee. We're all here to encourage you to proceed with the purchase of parcel 25-4-74-49, which is item 3 under new business on your agenda tonight. This scenic property has 2 very prominent trap rock cliffs along a ridge that has long been clearly visible to anyone riding down the Chamberlain Highway. This property also borders 2 other properties that the town of Berlin already owns and currently protects as open space. Adding this additional parcel of land to the other 2 town-owned properties would greatly enhance and complement the existing habitat for plants and animal species that thrive and live in that area. The science of this is very simple. Larger habitats support more species and more diverse plants. We truly see this as a good thing for the town of Berlin. The town could utilize the currently available open spaces and watershed land acquisition grant program, or OSWA, as it's also known, to cover most of the acquisition costs for what we see is a very scenic addition to Berlin's open space lands in that area. To help reduce the matching funds that the town would likely have to pay after state contributions from the OSWA grant, the Berlin Land Trust would like to donate $20,000 to the town to help support and encourage this purchase. In exchange for this donation, the Land Trust would like to request that we be granted a conservation agreement for this 15.74 acre property. This agreement would essentially make the Land Trust a protector of this scenic town resource. The Berlin Land Trust urges you to proceed with the purchase of this scenic property.
Thank you. Yeah, we have that on our agenda coming up, so you're gonna hang around, right? Don't go anywhere. All right, thanks. Tony? Next up. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I've not been here in a while. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Manager, Tony Valenti, Principal of Newport Realty Group, 710 Main Street, Suite 11. That's in Plantsville. Just here to briefly speak about an agenda item coming up on the agenda, which is number 11, where I think Jim Mahoney is online too to maybe explain even further, but this is, we think, the last grant that we'll get to finish up the Berlin Steel or the Steel Center project, where additional monies were needed from the state of Connecticut through the Brownfields grant program. And just wanted to speak in support to help us get there to where kind of our last peaks to get the project completed. You'll see in the agenda write-up or the minutes or in the write-up in the agenda, we've already committed, substantial dollars. We've already engaged with several subcontractors to commence the work. So as soon as the grant or the monies are made available, I know Jim Mahoney and team will execute what needs to be executed with BMW, the site work contractors, and we'll quickly follow up with our work to get 55 Steel launched. We like to be in the ground, right when winter time starts. We're about a 12 to 14 month construction period. So we're anxious and excited to get going on this last building. And I could stay here for the rest of the meeting if necessary, or if there are any questions I could answer right now, I'd be happy to do that.
I don't know if you guys have questions. I know there's probably be some questions then, but just how the financing, because I know I think the agency, right, came up with a different way. I think they loan, but they'll forgive it. But I will get into that in the agenda item. But up to you. I mean, Jim could address most of it, Tony. If you don't want to stay, it's up to you. Yeah, I think Jim can explain it, but whatever you want. Any questions now while he's here? Any questions? No, folks? Donna? Kate? Nothing?
No.
Okay. All right.
As always, appreciate your support.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you.
So those are two that had signed up to speak. Anyone else from the audience of citizens, either in person or on Zoom? See no hands up, right? Okay, we'll close our audience of citizens, and just real quick, just a quick mayor's update. One thing I wanted to mention was Brightfeed, the place that recycles the food down by Ocean State Plaza there. So they put in all the equipment, the noise equipment, the odor abatement equipment. Deep was out there the week of the 28th, just to update the public on that. I think Deep, no final report yet from Deep. They are gonna, I believe, come back. Donna, correct me if I'm wrong. Donna and I have been working on it for the town and the state. They're gonna come back over the next month or so several times and do some more monitoring, mainly for, I think for both, I'm sure, for the noise and the potential odor. And ultimately, we'll see what happens with Deep. So Deep has been out there. They're talking to the company. They've been there once, and they'll be there several more times. So we will kind of await their final study over the next month, and then we'll see what happens from there. Donna and I spoke to the president of the board of directors of the company. They're been very aggressive with trying to control any odors and or noise, and they will continue to work with the town and DEEP to solve any issues. What do you think, Donna? Anything else?
No, Mayor, I think you pretty much covered it. They will, there's no specific dates that they will be visiting the site. I hate to use the word sneak attack, but I think they will go unannounced as they do when they are investigating and inspecting. And we will get the reports, and we are working on getting the situation resolved, in terms of smell that they're complaining about and noise as well. So you're right in saying that. And as soon as we have something from DEEP, because that's who is going to be doing the checking and monitoring, we will certainly be back to the residents of the community. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Donna. Yeah, so we're keeping on top of it, and we're happy DEEP is going to pay some particular attention to it. So that's a good thing. A couple other just quick things. Deputy Chief, you're here. I know you're working on, I talked to Don Lombardo today from Public Building, that camera, the interface that you're, I know, on that, right? And I think he said you got some, I think you're trying to hook up, right, all the cameras from even the school system, right, to feed to that. That's what he told me. That's why I'm happy you're here, just to, okay, yep. Yeah, you know what, Drew, I'm sorry. Sorry, Drew. Taking advantage of you while you're here, sorry. I know you're working on it, just to update us, that's all, yeah.
Our system is a standalone system. It's
Okay.
going to operate on its own.
Yeah,
The schools all have their cameras, and we can access those cameras.
You
as
can.
well. That's a web-based system.
yeah, okay, it's
So it
web-based,
doesn't
gotcha,
need to interact with our camera system. at all.
gotcha, okay.
And we're just hoping that really the funding decision is made as far.
We have the funding. I think, Don said they've got the money in the budget for it, in the building budget. And I told them, yeah, we're all for it. I don't know if it needs, I thought it came to us and we said, yes.
No,
What is it?
you agreed to have it sent back to PBC again,
Okay,
to have them reevaluate and decide whether it will be put in as part of the project so that it could then be funded. Or
yes,
whether it's not part of the project, in which case it would have to be sent back to you.
no. He told me they're good with it as part of the project,
That
so,
was my understanding.
yeah. When did you,
Unfortunately, we can't-
was that the last meeting? Or no, was that back a ways?
No, there were some conversations that were had, and my understanding that
Okay,
there was supposed to be funding in place, and
yes,
what we really need to do is get to a point in place where a PO can be set up.
yes,
And we can order
Okay.
that, because it takes probably 24 weeks to order
okay.
that equipment.
Oh, yeah,
once it's
okay.
ordered, so.
Yeah, he indicated to me that he was all for it, and so let me talk to him
Right.
again tomorrow, and I can
Right.
call you, get a hold of
There's
you.
another issue that went to them that had to do with the key cards as well, the key card access. That's more of
Okay.
that's a town system that will link up with the town system.
Oh, yeah.
Fobs would get
Yeah.
us into not only all the town buildings, but they would work in our department as well. And that was an issue that the PBC was also working on.
I didn't ask him about that, but I could, want me to ask, I could
It
ask.
wasn't really built in as part of the original project, although it is
Okay.
part of the project.
Because, yeah, you should be in the town access control
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, that was the preference of the town, to keep us so we don't have to have two different fobs
Oh, yeah,
systems,
you're
and
in the same building.
be more seamless.
Yeah,
Right.
do you know who monitors that, Bob? Like, who adds people, takes people off, looks at who's accessing what? Who?
The town IT.
IT does that,
Yeah,
okay.
For us, Oscar handles it downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Brian is in charge of that also.
Okay. I'll ask him. I didn't know that was an issue, but is that more funding or what was it?
That's also going to involve some funding.
You know,
I don't know what that is. That
Okay.
comes from public grounds.
okay.
So I haven't seen any
Um,
numbers on that.
all right,
I think Doug actually did send us something, but I don't recall exactly
that's
what it
fine.
was.
yeah, I'll talk to him. Yeah, because he's all before, he's good with it as far as I knew, and so
Yeah.
I don't, because I thought we approved it, Kate, did we remember? What, just tell me to look at it, okay, because it was like, what, 60 or 70 grand?
Yes.
Something like that, right, I remember?
Yes, 69 and change.
Okay, 70 grand, yeah, we'll make it.
It's all a 70 grand.
Yeah, I think we're all, I think he's good with it, we were good with it, I think when we saw it, so
Yeah.
we'll just have to coordinate it then.
Yeah, it's just coordination
Yeah.
between them now and
we get it.
finance to that final piece. of
Yeah.
We'll get a PO and we'll get it ordered out.
Yeah, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Thanks for that. Okay, just real quick, two other things, and, yes,
If you have a chance, it's on page 7 of your minutes for July 23rd. And it was a motion just to have the Public Building Commission to make a determination if the updated camera system will be included in the police station construction project. And if not, request the Public Building Commission to release $60,000 of contingency in the police construction project to fund the required police station camera upgrade.
okay, so we said that, and verbally Don said they're in favor of that. They have the funding.
I don't know if
so
yeah.
They might have to take a vote on it, it sounds like. So I'll ask him to put it on their next agenda, which hopefully is this month soon, I would hope, right?
I had given them a resolution,
Oh,
so
Okay.
I'm not sure if they acted on it or not.
okay.
but It just would be a follow-up with
I'll
it.
find out. Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, everybody's on board, so we'll just, maybe there's some confusion, but we'll figure that out. Just a couple things they're still looking at, speaking of public building, just, they're gonna get back to us on the library and the town hall roof. They're just gonna have, I think, the original architects, Jakunski Homes. I think they had designed these two roofs. They just wanted some information from them, and looks like they would be voting in favor, obviously, to get that. That was a bond, I think that was a bonding, right, of what, 1.1 million. So they're gonna get that back shortly, so we can start that. I believe they're certainly in favor of that. They just wanted a couple more pieces of information, and they're still working on the golf course with the bunkers and the bridges, just to update that, which, they are in favor of that. They just wanted some more information, so, which probably will come back to us at some point, so just so we know, but we're moving forward on those things as well, so I think that's it for my update. So we'll go ahead to move on to our consent agenda, which has, what do we got here, 4 or 5 issues, or 5 items, except donations totaling 1473, deposit is for the library fund, I won't read the whole thing. Approved permission for consumption and BYOB at Timberland Pavilion for a consumption for a first birthday party. That's going to be some party. Approximately 70 in attendance on a particular date. They're just looking for insurance, so they will provide insurance on that. Accept the donations to the police cadet expenditure program. Accept the donations for the appropriate funds to the police canine program, and accept donations for Berlin Animal Control account. So those are the 5 items. That's on our consent agenda. I know we've all read them. We'll go ahead and take a motion on those if we're good.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Second on that?
Second.
Thanks. There's no other comments or questions. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, thank you. Donna there?
I second.
Yeah,
Oh, we got you, Donna, right?
I just
Okay.
say aye.
Yeah, that's all right. All those in favor? Well, we said aye.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any opposed?
Okay.
Not, motion carries. Thank you. All right, on to new business. So we got
Business,
Lee.
first topic is discussion, continuation of the conversation. I'm a senior. community
Don't
center-
come in here. Yeah,
I walk by it.
well, now it's frozen.
I don't know. Technical difficulties. Oops, go.
Okay, so sorry, just repeat it. Okay, so it's discussion only concerning the continued conversation on the senior community center. Mayor, I think you were going to speak to that.
Yeah, so and mainly, yes, certainly.
Introduce Lee.
Oh, did we not? Yeah, I was just thinking that, weren't you, was he at you were at the August meeting, but yeah, you weren't at one of our official meetings. That's right.
Just give me 1 second, please.
So, Lee Palmer is our interim town manager. And we'll talk a little bit more about the manager search.
I've got to get out of here. It's
I'm
We
do too, Don. We got to get out of here. I mean, let's just get out. No, we're just giving you
I'm
trouble.
gonna close this.
You are frozen in time on the screen. That's nice, yeah. So we're glad you're here. Lee comes with extensive experience in state government, local government, acting town managers, acting everything, doing all kind of different jobs. He is with the consulting firm that we have hired, which we're very impressed with, and we appreciate you, offering to be our interim town manager for as long as it takes, right? Oh, so we got him on. I wanted to get him on the record for that, just on the record. So yeah, we appreciate you being here, and yeah, the search is going forward, and we'll talk about it a little bit at the end. But yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
To Berlin, and welcome.
Be here.
Welcome to the position.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that, but I remember it was just the August special meeting, so it wasn't a council meeting. So yeah, so we're at the community center. So the main point, we don't need to have a lot of discussion tonight, but what I wanted to make sure we all refreshed our memories, certainly for Mark and Kate, we had a presentation a while ago from the YMCA. That was another option for our senior community center. So there's information that was included in the packet that wasn't in our last packet that we had in August for our special meeting. So I would like you, if you have any questions, but what I think would be good if we all review it and refresh our memories, and then I'd like to invite the Y whenever they can make it. I'm hoping maybe the next meeting in September, and just give us another presentation, and we could ask some detailed questions, give you guys a couple of weeks to review, whatever they've talked about, right, in the past. It's been a while ago, so we've all, I'm sure, forgotten some of it. So unless you have any questions now, if not, we'll review it. I'll contact the Y, see if they're available in a couple of weeks, and then we could have them do another presentation, get into more specifics if we want to, and answer our questions that we all may have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll move forward with it like that.
Is that good?
Yep.
Okay, we good? We good, Kate and Donna?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. All right, that's what we'll do.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Okay, on to number 2.
Yeah, Percival Soccer Field update, I believe. Steve gonna do that?
Mr. Steve, wow, look at this, like first up, second up, very impressive.
I think if you throw yourself under the bus, Kate moves you up in the order, so I guess I'm gonna go number 2. So the long and the short of it is the construction wrapped up last November with Percival Soccer. We used it during the springtime. It played very well. Started going into the summer. In July, we had a couple of major rainstorms, and with the major rainstorms, the field more along the lines of just started to float. So all the water was getting stuck inside the thatch layer just below the sod. So when you walked on it, it started squishing. So we've done a very vigorous cultural practice of going out there, using an aerator, using a core aerator. And then at that time, we have a piece of machinery called the Shockwave, where it goes down and breaks up the soil and the subsoil down around 10 inches. So we've kind of found a couple of things that seem not to be going right. The topsoil doesn't seem to be percolating as much as we thought, and the water seeping down into it because it's stuck in the thatch layer. The clay that is in the sod is not mending with the topsoil that's there. So we're trying to encompass all that together through cultural practices. Both Tom Linden, US Pitch Care, and we reached out to Dr. Henderson at UConn. They've all been on site trying to come up with an idea of how we can fix this. The field is playable. They're using it every night as it is now. But what happens is if we get a rainstorm of 2 or 3 inches, it just doesn't dry out as quick as we would like it to, so it makes it unplayable for a few days. Full transparency, we've been in contact with Berlin Athletics and McGee Middle School to let them know there could be a few more rainouts than what normally would have happened in the past. Good news is the field isn't falling off the cliff. It's level. It looks good. It plays well. It doesn't take the rain the way we would want to take it.
I mean, we don't have really a clue yet why it's doing that, or
So what we're thinking.
hence
is-
all the experts, I get it, but
The experts are leaning more towards the fact that there's too many fine particles in the soil, calling what's called a soil lockup,
Huh.
where the triangulars actually meet together. So which actually locks up like kind of like cement, so the water doesn't percolate into it. So we have to find ways to break this up. It could be adding some sand in with also some root zone mix to penetrate the roots to go deeper and search for water a little deeper into the amended subsoil. It's just a freak accident that happened.
is that some unique Berlin soil we have, or did they truck it in? They trucked in the soil, special soil for us?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually sent out 10 different soil samples to come up with the soil that we thought would produce. the
Yeah.
best for the
Oh,
field,
okay, okay.
with some sandy loam, with some good organic matter in it and
Yeah.
everything in it, and it's not
Huh,
performing the way that we thought it would.
interesting.
Well, I didn't want you guys to be at a local watering hole or be somewhere and someone come up to you and says, hey, what's wrong with the soccer field? And you guys be blindsided by.
Oh, I
it.
appreciate
It's
that.
not.
We do appreciate that. Yes, that's always, yeah, much appreciated, yeah. Because things like that do kind of happen sometimes, but
So as of right now, we're not looking for any more money. We are
Okay.
working with all the contractors and everybody to try to come up with
Yeah.
what is the best cultural practice to move forward. It might be some more deep tine aeration, might be some core aeration. We're taking the cores out and removing them, adding some sand, some root zone mix, and just trying to build a nice sand cap onto the field.
you think it's just because so much rain we've had? Was that probably makes it work?
Exactly.
Yeah, we've had so
It was
much.
so hot, and then we got somewhere between 7 and 13 inches of rain
Yeah,
in 2 days with
crazy.
33 degrees at 90-degree weather, and the water was just sitting in the thatch layer, which gave the soil the ability to just over dry itself.
Oh.
So it's just
Yeah.
bad luck.
Interesting, yeah. Of course, always bad luck, once in a while. Well, we appreciate that. Questions for?
No.
Putting any questions? Good explanation. We appreciate you telling us. And
As we get
good
more
luck.
information over the next couple months, we'll come back. to
Yeah,
you
let us know.
If it's positive. or if
nice
it's
new
negative.
field, yeah.
I'll send-
Or it's negative,
I'll
yeah.
send Somebody else.
Yeah, I would send somebody else. Yeah, yeah, definitely delegate the bad news. That's always the way to go, yeah.
Have a great night.
All right, see you. Thank you, Woody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Where we at here?
Number 3,
Number 3.
discussion, and there was some comment earlier, discussion about the possible acquisition parcel map 25-4, block 74, lot 49-0, Chamberlain Highway.
Yes, so maybe Jim Mahoney could give us the background and the latest, if you would.
Sure.
Jim. Thanks.
I
Jim.
will. Thank you. So, as was discussed, this is a 15.74 acre parcel that's next to Blue Hills Conservation Area, kind of at the top of Summitwood Road on the west side. Includes the Trap Rock Ridge, views from the ridge, and also kind of scenic from Chamberlain Highway. It's a property that's for sale, and we wanted to discuss whether the town is interested in negotiating with the property owner to possibly acquire the property. There is a state grant program. Actually, since I wrote this up, and thank you, Representative Beach sent us the information. The state has invited application for the open space and watershed land acquisition program. And there is actually the match could be up to 65%, but typically it's also kind of depends on how many applications they get, and they spread the money around a little bit. So I think that 50% is a reasonable number to use. Just in terms of order of magnitude, I think we'd have to negotiate a price, but we're talking about something in the order of magnitude of $100,000. And as indicated, the Berlin Land Trust is offered to contribute $20,000. we would also have costs involved for appraisal and survey. So that's the basics of the situation.
Okay. Well, so with the grant, wasn't there something about, oh, that's the other one. I'm confusing apples and oranges. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so I know we had this discussion before, right, about it, and what we decided not to do it, if I recall correctly.
And we discussed it in an executive session.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's out now.
Yes.
But it's okay. Rich, come up and just give us a little more, you know, give us a pep talk, whatever you want to give us. No, just so we kind of, you know, I mean, it's not, and we appreciate the land trust coming up with the extra funding. That's very nice. So we do appreciate that
Yes.
suggestion. Yeah. That.
I mean,
What-
I don't know. I mean, as long as I can remember driving down the Chamberlain Highway, I would see
Yeah.
those cliffs
Yeah.
there. And then, you know, this property butts up against two other pieces of property that you already
Okay.
own.
Yep.
So part of us is wondering, well, why wouldn't we add this to it? I mean, I made the point that it's a good thing to increase the size of habitat for plants and animals in that area. And it would preserve this visibility of this Trap Rock Ridge from from Chamberlain Highway. You know, Berlin sits between two big Trap Rock ridges. This is a piece of that. And it adds to the scenic quality of that area. And we think, you know, honestly, just adds to the potential of what we may be able to do in terms of hiking, even climbing, as a recreational value for the town.
So this piece, though, we just gonna obviously save it for posterity, but there's nothing gonna be on this piece. It's just gonna help with what would we do? Because this is up on top, right? Obviously,
Well,
or where?
it's below. It runs up and down, so.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
So part of it's below the hill there, the cliff.
What's up? I mean,
Yeah, I'm looking at the map. So
Okay.
so
So how do people access this?
yeah, that's a good question.
there is a trail system that we were looking at earlier in the general area, but I don't think, this is private property right now, so people don't access it.
Well, but they access the areas around it that we own, correct?
Correct.
So how do they get to that area right now? Because I'm just looking at it and it's kind of landlocked, so I'm wondering how people
Well,
would access it.
this is there's a cliff that runs right along here. So that's what you don't really see, and that's where the Trap Rock cliffs that you see as you drive down Chamberlain Highway. People can access it from this cul-de-sac, which is at the end. There's a big sign there that says Town of Berlin property. And then, but I'm not instantly familiar with the trail system. I don't know if Dave wanna chime
Yeah,
in?
Dave, come on. Yeah, come on up.
Dave may have, because he's the hiker in the group.
Okay, got it. I got it.
Yeah.
David Vo, I live off the Berlin Turnpike.
Oh, how you doing, Dave?
Nice place, good. So yeah, so I do a lot of volunteer work for Connecticut Forest and Park Association.
Oh,
And I know Jim Mahoney works with them a lot too. The New England Trail that runs all the way from Long Island Sound, Mattapiece at Metacomet. This is part of the Metacomet portion of that. Runs, I think, to the east of that cul-de-sac road
Okay.
and comes down and hooks in just south of this private land on the town land there, as it making its way to Hubbard Park.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. Okay.
And then it turns north to Ragged Mountain. It keeps going all the way up to New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
So it's a nationally recognized trail that goes. pretty
No, I don't
close
think
to the-
No, we didn't realize that, so that's why I'm glad you came up. That wasn't, you know, I don't think we had all those details, but, so how are so if people are hiking this trail, where are they just hiking? Where are the, I know last time we had a little bit of a discussion, I think, about not wanting to disturb the folks on Summit Wood, but without, I mean, there's already a trail there, right? That they,
There is a trail, I believe they've changed it fairly recently, so I'm not sure if the map they have is totally updated.
yeah.
But it comes down, or actually, it's on Orchard Road.
Okay,
And then at some point it cuts to south off Orchard Road.
okay, to
Through the land there.
the land there.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically, it's right at the intersection of Orchard Road and Kensington Road. It goes in and that is owned by the town. It's the
Oh,
Blue Hills
okay.
Conservation Area all the way down there. So, and then it continues. And as Dave said, I mean, basically it's east of, primarily the trail is east of Summitwood. I think we talked before, trail used to come onto Summitwood Drive through some of the front yards. And recently the Connecticut Forest and Park Association helped us relocate the trail. So now it's east of Summitwood Drive.
Oh, that's good, okay. Is that it's pretty, so that intersection of Orchard and Kensington, is that where you could walk in there, right? Is there some way to walk in from there?
You can walk in there, yeah. I mean, there's not really any parking at that particular location.
Right, there's no parking.
Right.
That's marked though in there, so it's kind of cleared from, if you walked in from there, it's
Yes.
cleared through the whole thing?
Yes. Yes.
Jim, is it where that nursery is?
It's across the street from the nursery. It's on the south side of that intersection.
Yeah. Okay.
Where the barn, so Nelawajik's barn is on the top of the hill there, his old barn, which the town now owns. And then this, as you're going toward the turnpike, go down the hill. If you're on Orchard at the bottom of the hill at the intersection of Kensington Road, it's right there, the trailhead.
Okay. Other questions?
Just I know before when this came up, there was concern that it might become a parking lot and disturb the neighbors. And if the land trust, the new property, and if the land trust is involved in conserving it, could we restrict it so that couldn't happen?
Yes,
No.
yes. Our role in terms of conservation agreement would be to protect the land, to prevent it from, being defaced in any way.
Because there was concern that the neighbors would be disturbed if that became a parking lot and an entry point. That was one of the issues raised before.
So can I interject here?
Yeah,
for a moment?
absolutely, Donna. Yes, please.
I'm sorry. I apologize for not being there in person. I certainly think this is wonderful, and obviously I emailed, to our good friend Jim Mahoney, who does a wonderful job with getting grants for us. And I have to, what Charlie just said, my concern is that, and we have had issues at other trailheads about people parking close, if not on, residents' properties, etc. And so my concern with acquiring an additional piece of property up there, and maybe I've got the position wrong, and maybe it's on the other side of the mountain going towards Chamberlain, and it's not at the very end of the
No.
Summitwood
not.
cul-de-sac.
It's below the ridge, so it's underneath it, Ellie.
So it's underneath it.
Right.
So where would the people park already? I mean, if people wanted to access it from up that way, and if the town owns and you guys own, how would people get to that if they wanted to start hiking at that location? How would they get onto there? And where would they park?
Yeah, I would say we don't know at this point. Our goal is to preserve the property, and then we can probably figure out down the road how best to, for people to access it. I mean, my understanding is it's available to us now. What we're really interested in doing right now is increasing the size of the habitat.
Well, I certainly support increasing the size of the habitat, but I do believe that we should be looking at the entire scenario before we move forward with this.
I mean,
Make this happen, and I think that's wonderful, but I think we need to open our eyes and figure out where we're gonna park cars, unless, I mean, if you're a resident down at the end of that cul-de-sac, I don't think they're gonna be too happy with, cars surrounding the bottom of that cul-de-sac. And that's my only concern, is how to access and where do people gonna park. Other than that, I have no issues whatsoever with moving forward on this type of a project. But I do want to know where people are going to park.
So this added proposed property, actually, if you look at the map, is not where the cul-de-sac is.
Right.
There is a trail going through that area right now. So if there are parking issues, they exist now. People might be parking at the public gardens there and crossing the road. Some people hike many miles, so they start, quite a ways away from here. Could be people actually in the neighborhood hiking these trails too. So,
And like I said, I have no problem with that. I would just like to see what our plan is for people that want to access at that location, should we move forward with acquiring this additional property. And I'm sure the mayor will agree with me. We've had some other issues because, trailheads were placed so close, if not on, the line of other people's property, and people encroach. They don't think about walking across somebody's backyard and parking up on their front lawn. I mean, they just do what they want to do, unfortunately. And it ruins it for the rest of us that want to be able to utilize and move forward on a project like this. So I just want to make sure that we look at everything we need to look at, and not after we buy it, before we buy it, okay, and before we approve this project. And I don't think that's asking too much.
No, that's good.
Certainly reasonable.
So would someone be able to park at the end of Summitwood there and then grab the trail? But it's below them, right?
Yeah,
They could do it.
the town owns it, the property on the west side of Summitwood now, so they can, somebody can, the last I'm aware, and we could check if Deputy Chief knows if anything's changed, but parking was allowed on Summitwood, but not on the cul-de-sac. So you could
Oh.
park on Summitwood until the cul-de-sac, and then you could access the trail there, or as we said, from Kensington Road, or, we have the trail system kind of in Hatch River Conservation Area. And then you could park there, like at the Shear property, you'd have a road walk down Kensington Road to the trailhead. So there's different points of access. But we did, just for everybody's information, we did have a parking lot at the end of Summitwood at one time. And it was kind of isolated and it was being misused, so we closed it. And so again, there's on the east side of Summitwood, in the area of the parking, there are no houses. The town owns the frontage on that side already. But there are houses on the west side, a couple houses at the end of the cul-de-sac, obviously.
Is it flat enough to offer some sort of parking on the east side where we as a town own that property? A couple cars? I mean, I'm just wondering.
Off-road, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, we could look at that. I'd have to refresh my memory. Again, as I said, we had a parking lot at the end. We punched it to the south, and that didn't work out because it wasn't very visible and such. But maybe if we had a few spaces on the east side, that might work better. So we can work with the engineering department, try to take a look at that.
That would be good. It's been years since I've been up that way myself. So I'm going to take a ride now that we're revisiting this, because I do think this is wonderful, and I'm all for building additional habitat. There's no question. Is there for us to utilize it. We should try to utilize it, but I just want to make sure that it's good for all the residents and not just the people that are hiking the area. Live there and pay big tax dollars, we want to make sure that they're happy too. But if we can put a couple spots on the east side, which is not anywhere near the west side where there are residents and homes, maybe we can do something like that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I think this is a great idea, but I just want to make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah, thanks, Donna. No, it's good. It's all good discussion. What is there, I think we should, I'm planning on driving there myself and looking at it. I haven't been down that road in a long time too. But so are we working with some deadline for any of this, Jim?
Yes, the application's due early December. The big problem, challenge with this program is we have to
Go to
get
them later.
these yellow book appraisals are
Oh.
required, and it's a very specific type of an appraiser. Not a
Okay.
lot of appraisers do it, so you gotta, the thing we gotta do is line up the appraiser.
Okay,
And, so I can start exploring that with different appraisers, and we can talk about it, maybe at the next meeting again. And again,
yes,
it just on a preliminary basis, I can continue discussions with the property owner to get a more definite idea of price also, so you can make a judgment.
yeah, I think that's all good, right? We all good with that of,
Yeah, finding the
I'm
pricing,
fine
I
with
think is
that.
important.
okay,
Finding out what
Yeah.
at least some type of a ballpark figure as to the pricing was gonna be, because, there's other money that's gonna have to be involved to purchase the property.
Well, that,
And I'm just, I'm just not, looking at one thing, it's just, we own the other properties, but we're just not gonna purchase this because we own the other properties. It's just, a matter of what's best for the town of Berlin.
But the Berlin Land Trust thinks it's best for the town of.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
that's, I just made a statement
Yeah.
stating that we're not just gonna purchase it because we own the other land.
Jim, do you know what on the average the appraisal and the survey costs might be? And now that you're saying it's a specific type of appraisal, what that might run?
Yeah, I mean, I could just, I have to get some numbers, but I'm thinking like a $10,000 budget for both, something like that.
So if we could get our ducks in a row, I think we should, and maybe, Mayor, if there's any way we could revisit this in 2 weeks, I think that'll give us the time that we need to maybe do some homework.
I
Everybody
think
good with that?
yeah, I think, right, we all good? Kate, you're good?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to let Jim, do the preliminary and get an idea of who can do the appraisal in a timely manner and how much. So I'd like that to be in the works, but definitely I think we need more information for sure.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good. So we certainly appreciate everybody's discussion tonight and the land trust. We appreciate you stepping up and willing to kick in some funding and giving us some information that I don't think we had all this information last time, how it hooked up to what trails. So that's important. So yeah, so we'll put it on the next agenda. Jim, get some more info for us on that, the appraiser, and some of us can, on our own, take a ride over there just so we are clear with it, and then we could discuss it next time. And we know the time's coming, but we do have at least certainly till the next meeting to make a
I'm
decision.
gonna take a
right?
ride past there myself.
Yeah, I
next
think
week.
that'll help us put it in perspective, right? So,
Thank you all for your hard work.
Consideration.
This
Yeah.
sounds like a great project if we can pull it together. Thank
Yeah.
you all. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, thank you, guys. All right, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right, good. Excellent.
Number 4, I won't read this whole long paragraph, but this has to do with the Homeland Security Memorandum of Agreement authorizing the resolution of the council to enter into and deliver to the state any and all documents, and to designate myself, the interim town manager, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, we're somewhat familiar with it, so if we have any questions, if there's none, we'll go ahead and take a motion on this.
Move to authorize a resolution that the Berlin Town Council may enter into with and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection any and all documents which it deems to be necessary or appropriate, and further resolve that W. Lee Palmer, as interim town manager of the town of Berlin, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents on behalf of the town of Berlin Town Council, and to do and perform all acts and things he or she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents completed by such documents, contemplated by such documents, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Thank you, Charlie. Second on that?
Second?
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Right, so moved. All right.
Okay, and number 5 really is just approval of the continuation of the contract with NetSmart's electronic health record and documentation system for an additional year at the 28,140 price. As you know, from the backup, the town did their due diligence with regard to comparative pricing. And this looks like the best deal to go with and continue it. It's what they're using currently. It makes sense to do that.
Thank you, Lee. Any questions, folks? If not, go ahead and take a motion on this.
Move to approve the continuation of the contract for NetSmart's electronic health record and documentation system for 1 year. Amount not to exceed $28,140.
Second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Okay. Topic 6 is to authorize the police department to execute a 5-year sales plan to purchase 23 tasers from the sole provider Axon Enterprises in the amount not to exceed $25,000 annually.
Okay. See, the old ones expired, so we need new ones. All right, questions? Sure, certainly want our officers to be well protected out there and help us protect the town. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to authorize the police department to execute a 5-year sales plan to purchase 23 tasers from sole provider Axon Enterprises for an amount not to exceed $25,000 annually.
Your second?
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Topic number 7, to approve the purchase of auto parts and supplies using the Connecticut DAS Services Contract number 23 PSX 0211 from Columbia Ford for an amount not to exceed $30,000. That's on the state bidders list, as you can see.
Okay, thanks, Lee. Questions, comments on this? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to approve the purchase of auto parts and supplies using the State of Connecticut Department of Administrative Services contract number 23 PSX 0211 from Columbia Ford for an amount not to exceed $30,000.
Second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Topic 8, waive the town's purchasing requirements to purchase the noted equipment and services for the town of Berlin Fire Department, Municipal Emergency Services of Waterford for an amount not to exceed $33,000, as this is in the best interest of it. There is a write-up on that.
Yeah. All your testing, Jim? Okay, questions, folks? All right, we'll go ahead and take a motion on this.
Move to waive the town's purchasing requirements to purchase the noted equipment and services for the town of Berlin Fire Department from Municipal Emergency Services of Waterford, Connecticut for an amount not to exceed $33,000, as this is in the best interest of the town.
Second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Item 9, to authorize the use of chemical equipment labs of Delaware, of DE of Newton Square, Pennsylvania for treated road salt utilizing the Capital Region Council of Governments contract number 765 through June 30th, 2025.
Just mean it's gonna snow this winter, Jim? What are we thinking? Hopefully not. Any questions on this? All right, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
Move to authorize the town to use of chemical equipment labs of DE of Newton Square, Pennsylvania for treated road salt, utilizing the Capital Regional Council of Governments contract number 765 through June 30th, 2025.
Second,
Second.
thank you. Any other comments or questions from the council? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Topic N, to add sidewalks on Main Street, East Berlin and Berlin Street, Grove Street, and eliminate the 4-rod road sidewalk section between Norton Road, Windermere Drive, and WMC's design scope. As you can see from the write-up, that the scope change is to be done within existing plan.
So what
Fine,
brought this up? Right? I wonder what,
we're talking, this, two different items.
yeah, which one are we looking at? Number 10, or?
Yeah, that's
And what-
Kensington Road.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say, I'm looking at it like, what are we talking,
Yeah.
are they changing it from Kensington Road? Right, but why are they talking about
So-
that?
Can I?
Yes,
let me see.
please. Yes,
Yeah.
add some
So the
light.
intent here is, I can look at the item right up, but the intent is that we had previously authorized 2 segments for design that would be part of the application that we'll submit in the spring of 2025. One is on Kensington Road from Carriage Drive to Norton, and we're keeping that. The second was the piece on 4-Rod Road from Norton to Wildermere. And when we were having the discussions about sidewalk sections and talking about the recent transportation alternatives grant
Yes,
application.
Yeah.
And we got some comments, I think, at the council and also at the Planning and Zoning Commission, that maybe that segment on 4-Rod Road, south of Norton to Wildermere was not a priority. So, in hearing that, I wanted to offer you now's the time to make a change before we do the design. So if we want to make a change and swap out that section, again, kind of following the theme that we talked about for transportation alternatives, which was to do sidewalks near schools. And so this particular the sidewalks in East Berlin on Main Street and Berlin Street would be connecting a number of areas like Stony Mill and some subdivisions that have sidewalks. And we have sidewalks partway down Berlin Street, but it doesn't get us all the way to Hubbard School and the center and the fire department, et cetera. So this would be a segment that we could add in lieu of the piece on 4-Rod Road. So we just wanted to test that, get your guidance as to whether we wanted to make that change.
Mike, can I suggest, I know my eyes are old, but this map you've included, it's useless. I mean,
Okay.
I can't tell one end from the other. Can I suggest in the future you have 2 separate blowouts of
Sure.
what you're talking about?
or magnifying glasses for all
Yeah,
of us.
for all of
That might be what we need. That might be easier for us,
Agreed.
yeah.
Right. Guilty. I plead guilty on that.
That's okay.
Okay,
That's
thanks.
okay. No, we did talk about that, right? Modifying some of the sidewalks. Remember, there were certain places we didn't think we wanted sidewalks. It didn't really hook up with anything. It wasn't connected. And so these were some of the areas that would connect with what we already have, and obviously also help out with connecting to school areas too, right? As I recall.
Yep.
Correct. Right? So yeah, I think it makes sense. What do you think?
We also discussed, on your old street, they don't have them from Alling Street to
Heather-
Briar Lane.
Heather Lane
But
there?
they have them from Briar Lane to the school.
Yeah, no, makes no sense, does
Oh,
it? No,
So
yeah.
can we throw that piece in there?
Yeah, it's a pretty short piece too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, that,
Less than 1/10 of a mile,
yeah, it's,
a lot less.
it never made sense. They put them
There's
half the way up on Heather Lane.
basically 2 houses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's about 2 houses, yeah. Is
So
that-
the first step for us is going to be do the survey, and
Okay.
then we'll refresh our cost estimate.
Okay.
So
Alright.
we'll plan on getting the survey for both of these. And then once we have new cost estimates, we'll bring it back to you for guidance.
Great,
Appreciate it.
thanks.
What were those sidewalks like 15 years ago, whatever, 20 years ago, a long time. Anyway, it's all right. Okay, that's good. All right, so we good, folks? We're good?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna take a motion, Charlie. Thanks.
Move to add sidewalks on Main Street, East Berlin, from Berlin Street to Grove Street, and eliminate the Four Rod Road sidewalk section between Norton Road and Wildemere Drive in WMC's design scope.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye, sorry about that.
No, that's
Aye.
all right. That's okay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, so topic number 11, and there's a pretty extensive write-up on this, but basically it's to move, call a special town meeting at 6:45 PM on September 17th, discuss and approve 360,000 year 25 non-budgeted appropriation of the general fund unassigned fund balance to the Farmington Avenue non-grant account, the Economic Development Fund. And again, the rationale, the rest of that is explained in the item, but that's really to introduce the topic.
Yeah, Jim, just explain it a little bit.
Okay,
We
sure.
talked about it, so I
Yeah.
get it, but it's a little confusing for folks
Right,
who've
so.
heard it before.
Yes, so there's three actions that we're looking for here, and one, what precipitated this was that, as you know, we had gotten a $360,000 grant for additional funding for the 55 Steel Boulevard project. And apparently, as Department of Economic Development started to deal with Attorney General's office on assignment of counsel, they looked at the legislation, said, you know, because we had already gotten a supplemental grant for the project, we couldn't get another grant. As the legislation is written now, DECD is going to look to change the legislation, but that's all in the future. We've got this project, as we discussed, that we're right in the middle of and we want to finish. So DECD is offering us a forgivable loan, which would be, you know, basically it would be a loan with a 3-year term, 3% interest, no payments of principal and interest the first 3 years, with eligible to be forgiven as soon as we finish the geopiers and the geomembrane that are part of the engineer control project. So those we would expect to be completed well, you know, as Tony said, we'd like to get them done by the end of the year. So hopefully we get the loan forgiven by that time and it really gets converted to a grant. So that's one piece of this this item. Second piece is that given the delays kind of and the time it takes to process estate agreements, there's an issue about funding availability. We've got, we entered into a change order that was authorized by the council with B&W Paving to finish the project. And when we entered the change order, because the state grant is not in place yet, we had to cap the amount of the change order total project at $1,082,000. So there's a possibility if we hit that cap before we had the agreement in place, that we would have to stop the project. So to bring that under our control, we're asking for a $360,000 authorization from fund balance that would put us in the driver's seat. We'll be able to go through and finish the project. And then if we're able to secure the state funds, those would substitute for ours, or if we have additional need for contingency, we could use both. So that's two of the items. And then the third item is just in reviewing this whole thing, we're refreshed our memories or refreshed our focus on the fact that Newport's going to be doing doing work that is going to be part of what we need to perform to meet the DEP requirements for the engineer control for the project after they take title to the property. So, for example, they have to put in a sub-slab ventilation system to vent gases from under the building and exhaust it out the roof. So the building has to be done and that system has to be in place. It has to get tested before we can close out our engineer control variance requirements. So we want to make sure that in our agreement with Newport that we're specific about all these requirements that they have to do after they take title to the property, So we would like to do another amendment, the 8th, for hopefully the last, to our agreement with Newport. So those are the three items. And I know it's can get a little confusing, and I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
No, thanks for that, Jim. Appreciate that. Question, folks? You have questions? No? We good? We know I don't know, what amount of grants have we had up to this point, Jim? What are we at? About 3
Well,
million?
on this project, without the 360,000, we had 1,182,000
Yeah.
from the state, and then we'll have the next item talking about the $200,000 grant we got from CROG. So, we got 1,382,000 in grants so far.
And then we had the other money from the Brownfields Fund, right? In the beginning?
We had other money from that funded site investigations, like
Yeah.
through EPA, and it just,
Yeah, right.
we've gotten a lot of grant money. We're trying to get to the end of this,
Yes,
spend as
please.
little local money as possible, but get to the end, see that.
Yeah, we need
building
to get to
done,
the end.
and we'll all be happy.
Yes, great project. We had a lot of work to do there. Yeah.
Just a quick question. Is this, once we move this 360 to the general fund balance, or from the general fund balance, are we guaranteeing that the state's going to give us this 360, or are we not sure still?
Well, I mean, I think it's, I think it's highly likely. Obviously, nothing guaranteed until you have the contract in place. But, I think the state has been very committed to this project. The fact that when the obstacle presented itself, they offered us another alternative is indication of their continued support. Obviously, the lieutenant governor was here a short while ago endorsing the project. So I feel strongly that, they're going to continue, they're going to follow through on their commitment.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions? Counselors? No, we're good?
Yep.
Okay, so we got 3 motions, Charlie?
I just want to say.
Yes.
We're in this deep, we can't stop now. We spent
No, we certainly can't. No.
all this money to make this land available to a private developer.
We cannot stop now. No, I mean, and we've gotten a lot of grants and a lot of help to get especially the environmental stuff, which has been.
If the town had never bought it in the first place, it would have been.
That probably would have been the best solution back in the day, but it is what it is, the water under the bridge, and we're getting it done, so, yeah, wouldn't know, but now we know. Yeah, we could do the motions, yeah.
Okay, move to call a special town meeting at 6:45 PM on September 17th, 2024 to discuss and approve a $360,000 fiscal year 25 non-budgeted appropriation of general fund unassigned fund balance to the Farmington Avenue non-grant account in the Economic Development Fund.
Take a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Number 2.
Move to approve the attached resolution to authorize W. Lee Palmer, interim town manager, to apply for the CTDECD for a $360,000 additional municipal brownfields loan for the 55 Steel Boulevard, formerly known as 889 Farmington Avenue. And if the loan is offered, to accept the loan, execute a loan proposal, loan agreement, and other documents as necessary to secure and carry out the purposes of the loan, and to appropriate the loan of up to the amount awarded to the municipal brownfields grant account of 889 Farmington Avenue, and to refer this matter to the Board of Finance, subject to approval of Corporation Council.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right, so moved. Number 3.
Move to authorize the interim town manager to enter the 8th Amendment to Purchase Agreement with Newport Realty Group to confirm and better define Newport's obligations with respect to improvements that will construct that are part of the engineered control project after closing on the purchase of the property, subject to review and approval of Corporation Council.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. right, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Number 12.
Authorize the interim town manager to execute an extension of Brownfield sub-grant to the town of Berlin, the Brownfield Cleanup Revolving Loan Fund, ECRLF grant, the United States Environmental Protection Agency of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the Capital Region Council of Governments for the 55 Steel Boulevard project.
Yeah, it's just ongoing grant, right? We've been talking about these for a long time on that piece of property, so questions? No. We good? Everybody's good? All right, motion.
Move to authorize the interim town manager to execute an extension to Brownfield subgrant to the town of Berlin from Brownfield's Cleanup Revolving Loan Fund, grant from the United States Environmental Protection Agency of U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to the Capital Region Council of Governments for 55 Steel Boulevard project.
Thank you, second.
Second.
Hearing no other comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
13, Mayor, I think you were gonna do an update on the search for
Yeah.
town manager.
Yes, so we attached, as you folks have seen, I know it was emailed to you, I think, prior to this too. Nice brochure, this is to invite candidates to apply for our town manager position. Nice, great history and Berlin and profile. I thought they did a excellent job, right?
Absolutely.
Makes me
And-
want to move there.
Yeah. And so with this, they put out, right, there was an email from Ms. Randy the other day, just Friday. So they sent out over 1,162 emails to people in ICMA, various towns and ICMA chapters. It was advertised to all Connecticut members of the ICMA, GFOA, CTCMA. And so it's going out everywhere that we had talked about, you know, where the firm was going to advertise it and looking for suitable candidates. So that's where we stand. We have, let's see, what did she say? We have received calls of interest, so we hope to get resumes after Labor Day. That this was just on Friday before Labor Day weekend. So, that's where we're at. It's moving forward. And obviously the advertisement's finally out there, so we are waiting some candidates, and then the consulting firm will of course move through those resumes and see what we got, and then we can, you know, narrow it down at some point.
Yep.
So little, you know, it's a process, as we know, but that's why we're happy Mr. Lee is here to help us through that process. Anything to add about the process? It's pretty much sums it
No,
up.
I think, to your point, the brochure looks good. I think it
Nice brochure.
will reach the appropriate number of people and see what it brings.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so we're hoping for, you know, we'll get some good candidates to look at. So that's it. Questions? Any questions? We good? We're
Spent a
good?
lot of time on it, so I.
We've spent, yes, yeah, it's been,
Wait.
it is a process. We
Yeah.
know it's always strikes terror in our hearts when another town manager leaves. We're like, no, please don't leave. Not that we don't look forward to the new one, but it's quite the process and it's very time consuming. Hence the consulting firm, thank goodness. I think last time we didn't have one, Kay, right? We didn't do a consulting firm. Yeah, it was on our own. That was too much.
Yeah.
Even though it all worked out, it was a bit much on everybody's plate. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we're waiting for the resumes to roll in. So on to our, what do we have? A couple appointments now, right? One for inland wetlands. BNA. So we go ahead and, yeah, the wetlands, yeah. So we can open the nominations.
I would like to nominate Margaret Heron for the Inland Wetlands Commission.
All right, thank you. Any other nominations for that appointment? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations. All those in favor of Margaret? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, right? Welcome, Margaret, to Inland Wetlands. And Second one for VNA, so we'll open the nominations for VNA.
I'd like to nominate Susan Ann Lewis. for the
Thank-
VNA.
Thank you, Charlie. Any other nominations? Hearing none. Close the nominations. All those in favor of Susan? Aye.
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 And that passes also. Water Control Commission?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, I didn't see that one. So go ahead and we'll close open the nominations for Water Control.
Is this for a permanent or a?
This is, I think
alternate?
this is an alternate, right? Oh, yeah, okay, okay, yeah. So we'll go ahead and take a nomination.
You have to forgive me when I butchered his name.
I was
I
looking.
nominate Warren K. Any ideas, Kate?
What do we think?
Bethage.
Huh? What do you think? Bethridge?
Bethage.
Bethage,
Yeah,
Bethage.
what he said, thank you.
Sorry about that, Warren.
Apologize in advance.
Yeah, any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations. All those in favor of Warren? Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, so moved. So thank you, folks, for volunteering.
His resume looks like he'll be a great addition.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
quite the resume there. Yeah, that's excellent. Well, that's good. Okay. We are down to it's way too early to be at the town manager's report, but we'll keep moving. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We really appreciate the short ones.
Yes, yes.
You can hear me, right?
I think so, yeah.
Is your mic on? No, is what she's
I
asking.
wonder if is the
Is
red,
your right, is the
button?
red button on?
yeah.
then you're
okay,
good to go.
should be good.
So this is my piece, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it very brief and just say that I had my first department head meeting today.
Oh,
So that's something. to
congratulations.
celebrate, right? And it
Yes.
went relatively smoothly. So,
Yes, that's good. That's good.
You know, they didn't try to oust me immediately. So that was
Didn't beat you up too much either?
Yeah.
No, not too bad?
very well.
That's good.
And, I was very pleased with group and how they came together, and it was very helpful, welcoming.
No, it's-
And then the other thing, and the reason I have this item is there was a question and Mike Hearn was able to update me on this, so I'm just gonna kind of read it. But it says, per the attached addenda, we received an after the fact TC approval on Arosha's town manager's approval to go ahead with the emergency repairs to the bridge. This is on the Shuttle Meadow Ave Bridge, and there was a question on that. And one of the counselors at the 7/23/24 meeting inquired on timing. So I can now confirm that the repairs are 100% complete. So that's an update. And then
Good.
we did include photos to give a sense of the before and after conditions. He's waiting on the bills, so it doesn't have a complete accounting of the report. But he feels that it will definitely fall within the amount approved. So I
No,
just wanted to bring that to your attention since it was raised at the July meeting.
appreciate that.
So I kept it very.
Yes, very, very, very brief.
Just to let you know, it was me that asked about the timeline. The timeline that you mentioned, you said one of the councils asked when it was gonna be done. That was me.
Okay, very good.
I thought I wrote it down, but I'm looking at
Very
it.
good.
There you are.
Asking you will receive.
Correct.
I just have a question while we're in the town manager. Maybe you could check Lee for us. There's a property on the Berlin Turnpike that is a state access to the Lamentation walking trail, and I guess there had been some encroachment by a landowner next to it. And then the state, I guess the long and short of the state was gonna sell it to him, and they didn't do that. So the question is, it's Berlin, it's on Berlin, in the town of Berlin, of course, it's state property. And I think there's still some questions that have come up, some folks have asked me too, there's still a no trespassing sign on what is the public access to Lamentation Mountain Trail.
Okay.
It's right, it's on the Berlin type, it's right near the Meriden line there. So we're just curious, if they could, who would take that down? I assume the state would. It is state property, but I don't know how that works with, maybe, hey, Jeff?
Yeah,
So just out of curiosity, so that Carabetta property, that is the access to Lamentation Mountain. So there's still a no trespassing sign. It, obviously, as far as I know, unless it changed, it hasn't been sold to that gentleman's family or whoever owned it. But there's still a no trespassing sign, which would, I guess, indicate to folks that that trail is not open. How do we get that removed? The state would have to do that, I assume, because I know it's in the town of Berlin, but it's state property. What do you
yeah,
think?
if it's state property, they would have jurisdiction over removing that
Okay.
prohibition, you know.
Okay, so just so people, would realize, because people do hike that. That's how the whole thing kind of came up in the beginning, so they noticed that. All right, so we can check on that. Appreciate that.
At the very least,
Yep.
we make a request to the state to open it to the public.
Sure, I mean, you can, I don't know why the sign is there. Is it not being monitored by the state? Is that?
That's a $1 million question. Don't know.
Not quite that much, but close.
Yeah, probably.
Say, I know the sign was there a few days ago because I had driven by there.
Okay, it's still there, right? 'Cause I know a couple of people have said something to me
Yeah.
too. So, yeah, I mean, if it is a, state walking path and, it's still state property. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Okay. All right, so with that, on to our special committee reports, of which I don't believe there are any, correct?
Right.
No, nothing? Council Communications, what do we have? Anything, folks?
I've got a.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
always-
sir, what do you
I
got?
always got a comment.
No, that's okay. That's what we're here for. That's okay.
One thing that we, I don't know, it's due in September was the survey and study of the East Berlin pool.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
That should be, we should have some type of a determination as where they stand, what the status is. and,
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
else. We did pay, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, $30,000 to have this done.
Yes, I believe you're
And
right.
this is the second year that that facility has been closed.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the one where looking at the pool. The pool needs a lot of work, and we were thinking of doing a splash pad there
Splash pad,
instead. So I know Woody and Park and Rec were gonna look at it, so maybe we could put that on leave for the next meeting. Yeah, so just see what is going on with that, because I know folks have asked us that before, and, it'd be good to make a decision and move on to whatever.
Right, I just
Whatever we're
thought,
gonna do.
because we had
Yeah.
discussed this before and
Yeah.
we said we had to wait till September. September is now here.
It's here.
Second thing is, there was an email, and Drew, I'm glad you're here because I referred this woman to you. Michelle Brown from Reservoir Road.
Okay,
She had sent an email to the town council and then she sent up a follow-up email, said nobody's gotten back to her. So I did call her and I told her that that was, a police matter of people speeding up and down Reservoir Road. And it was really concerned about the safety of people walking and everything there. And she said it continually happens. The police department's been called. So I said, that's an item that needs to be addressed with the police department, not the town council. And she said, fine. And then, of course, Drew, I gave her your name. So I had her, I said, contact, his contact information is on a website and to get a hold of him and then he could give you whatever information or what can be done or.
Yeah, we've been working on that. Somebody today that works for the town just said, thanks for the radar. There's been people out there doing radar lately. We've been doing it actually all over town. You're gonna see a lot more.
you know what, Drew? I know Kate's ready, so you gotta come up. Sorry, Drew. That's not me, it's Kate. Don't blame me. No, you have to come up. I was waiting for her to turn around, yeah.
The exercise anyways.
Yeah,
Um,
appreciate it.
one of the biggest complaints we frankly get at the police department is speed and aggressive driving lately. And that's something that we have renewed an effort into enforcing. I know that the patrol lieutenant recently met with all the sergeants and came up with some very specific issues that we need to address throughout town. And we have a whole list of areas. One of those areas is Reservoir Road. And just ironically, going to the meeting this morning, one of the managers stopped me and said, "Hey, thanks for the radar. We've been seeing cars on Reservoir Road."
Right.
And that has a big effect because if someone drives down the street, they see a police car, the next time they drive through there, they think that person might still be there. So it acts as a deterrent. It doesn't last forever. So you have to do some renewed efforts. So the police department is really ramping up our efforts. We've got some more people on place. We're seeing more people on the road. We have people just starting to complete FTO. And lately, especially within the last couple of weeks, we've been over minimum shift. So they've been sending them out specifically for traffic duties. So you're going to see a lot more of that coming in the
'Cause
future.
that was the area that was, you know, that we received an email on and, you know, and I did want to respond back to her because she said nobody's gotten back to her. So in fact, I was in your office, Lee, when I was talking to, Christie when that, second email came in and then, I, you know, of course,
Yeah.
gave you for the contact
Absolutely.
information. So,
I didn't get a specific email on that, but I've got some from other citizens in town and we respond to them and let them know what we're doing and when we're going to do it. And
if you want that email, I can forward it to you.
sure, absolutely. I'll get back to her myself.
Okay.
Can I jump in on this?
Chief?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Matt, yeah, Chief, yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
I responded to her in writing last week, and we've had a conversation going back and forth.
Oh,
And
perfect.
Lieutenant
that's
Martin
great.
did send people out there.
Perfect.
Well, we appreciate Charlie. What do you?
I just want, while you're up here, could you tell us a little about what happened with this supposed street takeover I read about?
We always work with the state on issues related to Route 571 there. That is state police jurisdiction. However, in the past, we've gotten calls and our officers do make an effort to try and go out there and drive them away every once in a while. But we've been working a lot more closely in a couple incidents with the state. And so in this particular situation, the state could see people setting up for racers out there and we kind of quickly got into cooperation with them and our officers went in, the people all fled and the state police were waiting. Lots of
Yeah.
stop sticks.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I
They
read that in
deflated
the
a whole
paper,
bunch of
yeah.
tires
Oh,
and
well,
made
good.
a number of arrests. So hopefully that word spreads.
Yeah.
And this is a community that does that a lot
Yeah.
all around the state.
Yeah.
This is a very popular area. So hopefully they will act as further deterrent. When they get their tires flattened and their cars towed, that makes this an undesirable place to come. And so hopefully that's,
Where do they come on? From New Britain Road?
they come from, oh, where do they get on the highway? They get
Yeah,
on
where
from
were
High
they gonna
Road.
race? From there to the?
Go from High Road and then out onto, under the bridge and onto Route 9 and then continue on from there.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? What Drew while he's here? So, and Chief, we appreciate you guys' effort. We know, I think we all know that drive anywhere today, aggressive driving is everywhere, unfortunately. So we appreciate the effort in Berlin, which is what we expect from you guys, and you guys come through for us always. So we appreciate your hard work and working to keep our streets safe, because I know it's not easy today, but we appreciate whatever you're doing. Definitely the radar, I've seen them out there myself, especially on, when schools open, there was a car there, but between McGee and Willard, so that's a good place to keep people slowing down too. So yeah, we appreciate it.
I just want to say,
Yes,
Mayor,
yes,
for the
yes.
record, I did not get caught in the speed trap on Sunnyton Road today.
Wow,
So,
really? Okay.
he was there.
They
but
were there
I
too.
wasn't in
Okay, they're all
trouble.
over now.
Yeah,
That's
they're
excellent. Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, between Willard and McGee, yeah, going to work. Yeah, I saw it immediately. I might have tapped my brakes. I think I did. No, I think I was already going slow. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, thank you for the effort. We appreciate it. And we know it's not easy today. We certainly get that. But all right, any other counselor questions, communications?
Oh, good.
We're good. Okay, on to our acceptance of minutes. If we could, 2 motions for what we got, July and August.
I move we accept the minutes of July 23rd meeting as presented.
All right, thank you. Second?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sorry, so moved. And
I move we accept the August 6th meeting minutes.
thank you. Second?
second,
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. And now, we are on to our executive session. So we need to make a motion to go into executive
I
session.
move we go into executive session to discuss real estate as per Connecticut General Statute, Section 1-206D, discussion and selection of site sale or purchase of real estate by the town,
Yes, and
Remington Avenue.
in that motion, we're inviting in, obviously, town manager, Attorney D'Onofrio. That's all, yeah, that's all we can, well, that's all we can, see you, chief. Thank you. That's all we could invite in at the moment, right? Did I miss anybody?
Are you gonna send, Mark, Mayor, are you gonna send a, phone number to call in, I'm assuming?
Yes. Do
Okay.
you have a phone number to call in for executive session?
I can't tell you over the.
No, well,
No,
no,
can someone text
we'll,
me?
we'll text it to you. Yeah, I'll,
So I
Thank
can text it or.
yeah, we can text it to you when we turn the mics off. Yeah, no, she's gonna give the phone. No. So, yeah, so we got
Good night,
everybody invited.
Kate. Good night.
So we're all in favor. We'll take a minute to clear the room and then and that's at 8:31.
Hey, do you need the number text also?
I could text, give me the number, write it down, I'll text her. I got her here.
Can you pass that down to Mark?
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
No problem, you get it in a second.
That down to Mark?
What? We're just clearing the room out.
I move to go into session.
Yeah, we did.
I sent you a text, Donna.
Second,
I second.
Sandy just got
Yeah.
it. Thank
yeah. All those in favor, we're in
Aye.
favor. Aye.
I,
Chief,
Sorry, Kate.
I'll call you.
Mark, hand that down to the other Mark.
Yes, I'm sorry. No. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think we're good. Got a like nice photo with Jeff there, huh?
That was quick. Katie's on.
Kate's right on it.
Oh, yeah.
On it.
Oh, yeah.
I have a
Yeah,
very special set of skills, but it does include Zoom.
What did she say? I didn't.
Very special set of skills.
Oh, very special skills.
But it does include Zoom.
Does include Zoom. Yeah, Liam Neeson, I was gonna say, I know where that movie's from. Yeah. I will find you and I will, whatever. Whatever, yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to hear me say things like that. You don't want to hear me say things like that.
No.
Or the lady on Wedding Crashers, I'll find you.
Oh.
Track you down. Probably scarier than Liam Neeson, honestly. Probably scarier.
We still have an hour and a half to go. We said 10:30 tonight.
It's kind of early.
Yeah. We're not done yet.
You ready for a motion?
I think, well, we're just waiting
I
on
think Donna,
Donna.
she's in
Donna's
Zoom.
coming. Donna's coming.
She hasn't resumed.
Donna's lost in the cloud.
In the cloud, she lost in the cloud. It's in the cloud, it's all up there somewhere, or it's on the line. Spence Vaughn said in his movie. What? Online.
There we go. All right.
All right, Donna, we here? We good?
Okay, sorry, guys.
Oh, no, we're good.
right.
It's all good. So we're back in our public session, and we will have one motion to add an agenda
Make
item.
a motion to add an agenda item regarding a special town meeting.
Okay, thank you. A second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so moved.
Aye.
Thank you. So,
I move to set a special town meeting for September 17th at 6:45 PM to approve a non-budgeted appropriation of $75,000 from the general fund unassigned balance fiscal year 25 to the volunteer fire department grant account for the purchase of property adjacent to the Kensington Volunteer Fire Department.
thank you. Second.
Second.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right, opposed? All right, so moved. And a motion to adjourn.
So,
Motion.
Mark,
Oh,
before we adjourn,
Yes,
before we
yes,
adjourn, can I ask,
yes, yes.
the 17th, I already have something I'm supposed to be doing from 4:30 to 8. You
Yep.
said 6:45. Can I call in for, it's just one vote?
Yeah, be vote later on the agenda after the meeting.
So
Is that,
Yeah.
wait a minute, is that a Tuesday?
No,
Yes.
it's the next
Oh, it
council,
the
is
next
a
town council
Tuesday.
before the next council meeting, Tuesday, yes.
Tuesday
I
the
don't have a
17th.
calendar in front of me. Okay, I thought it was like like a special meeting we were doing. All right, well.
No, it's right,
okay,
Six
got
forty-five
that.
meeting. we
yeah,
set
just
the bench.
before the council meeting.
Lots of me, but not enough time to do everything. That's all. All right, sounds good.
We're good. Okay,
Okay.
so, motion to adjourn.
Move.
So move second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Aye.
Any opposed? Good night, everybody. Thank you
Good night.
all.
Good
Appreciate it.
night.
Thanks.
Good night.
Hey, Jeff, have a
Night.
good vacation.
The bag away
Thank
yet?
you, thank you.
All right, see
Bye,
ya.
Jeff.
Good place.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
vacation. Bye now.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're good. All right, here, you can keep that. Yeah, that.